Oh my giddy gosh, how the are ya? Hiya Hunz, it's me, ChrisTeen ofs, and I need to tell you the truth. Quite some time ago, unspecified time, I knew diddly squat about makeup. Absolutely sweet FA. Zilch, niente, nada. But then the penny dropped. Something happened. I spent a lot more time honing the skill, expanding what I had. You know, I've got all of this range of makeup. I've got my own range, blah, 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 blah. And I want to pass that understanding of makeup on to you all. And that's why I'm putting together these tutorial videos. That's why I'm putting together this whole thread playlist, whatever you want to call it, here on YouTube. That's what I'm doing, and that's why I'm doing it. Subscribe if that's something you're interested in. That's really what I wanted to say. Subscribe, and obviously leave a huge thumbs up down below, because that's going to help me grow my channel, and I appreciate you in advance. Now that part's out the way, let's get into the rest of the video. I'm going to be showing you how to contour, how to blush and highlight. I'm going to put some color corrector on this beard. I'm going to foundation the face, and then we're going to come back and talk about the different face shapes and how you can contour for your face. Right, I am up to here. I have got color corrector and foundation on, and that's it. So I'm going to show you what I use for my process. I have got two different shades of contour here. I have got a kind of caramel color, and I think this is chestnut according to its label. Espresso. I then also got a porcelain shade, and then from an eyeshadow palette, I use this pink shade right over here that almost matches my hoodie. You can just see I'm starting to hit pan. I love a heavy blush, and that is what I use. This is amazing. This is 90 pence from Primark. The formula of this concealer, yes, I have tried some. I've tried liquid ones. I think this is just a cream formula, just hands down the best, and I encourage you to go try it. I want to make sure that we all start from the same understanding, and that is to wet your damn beauty sponges. As I clean these, but I can't get the color out of them, wet them. If it's blending product on the skin and it's moving product into each other, whether it's foundation, contour, or highlighter, wet the damn sponge. You're gonna thank yourself for it. Results are gonna be better, smoother, not so uneven, right? Just wet them. I create a strong contour here. I lift the highlight up here to kind of create that more of a narrow snatched look. I'm gonna talk the way through the different face shapes and your face shape. I start going underneath the eye, like so, and then down on the triangle, going up. I fill this in. That's where I begin. I then make a triangle, kind of like an arrow pointing down. I go across the top of the lip and the bottom and the nose. I consider myself to have an oval face shape, so that's why I do this here to kind of help pull everything down. I'm going to look at my notes because I've got them down here, and I would probably do the same patterns with your highlighter if you're a diamond face shape as well. For the heart shape, I wouldn't do this bit out here. I would keep this bit shortened down. And for an oblong, I wouldn't do these. I would not do these part for an oblong, personally for me. Everything I'm about to tell you in this video is for you to play about with and find what works best for your shape. Hands down. I'm gonna get this done, and we're gonna start blending it in. With a wet beauty sponge, we're gonna start blending this in. And as we blend, it's almost like I'm putting it on and then pulling it up and off, like lots of little pulls up. Yes, you can just tap, tap, tap and bounce, but because it's a cream product rather than a liquid product, I pull and lift at the same time. So that's what I'm going to be doing, pulling and lifting in the direction where I want the product to go. So I'm pulling it down on the chin to create that illusion of lighter chins living. I use the point to get into the corner here, and I pull it down and out, again like the pulling and lifting motions. I pull it down, and then when I start to go up here, that's where I just bounce, 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 bounce. I'm not pulling the product, I'm bouncing so that it doesn't move around the face more, so I have a bit more control. And I'm not gonna edit this clip because I want you to see what happens to the product. So I would say that this bottom line part section is where I'm just bouncing it, but up in here is where I'm pulling it. And then I'll go back to bouncing down here. This bit down here needs a bit more assistance, and I don't mind it coming down around the chin, the top lip for me. Coming underneath the lip, underneath the nose, may I say. This is where I'm doing that lifting motion again. Pulling it down, so it starts to go whoop. I just started pulling on the upside down. I've just started going like this. When it comes to in between the brows, I don't pull it down to the nose. I like to have a bit of a natural color going on here to break up the two highlight sections. I have two gaps here. We're gonna come back later and tweak that up. I'm gonna do the nose now. Let's do the nose. Coming down, oh my gosh, angles coming down the nose. Like this. This is not how I hold a blender, but I can't block it out for you. You've got to see it. Coming down the nose. Lots of little pulleys. And then at the end of the nose, I bounce with whatever product I've still got on there. I just bounce the end of the nose. And you can see that's already starting to create the highlight and contour moment. I'm gonna do this off camera, and then we're gonna start talking about contour, okay? Boom, here we go. Now I'm gonna take the lighter shade of my contour, and I start by bouncing it underneath my cheekbone. If I do this is not how you should do it, but if I show you the location, there's my cheekbone, you see? And I start on the back of it, in the hairline, and bring it down and underneath. I'm like 70s kind of sideburn coming onto the face. Who is it, John Travolta or someone, or Elvis, whoever it is. Now what I'm going to do is take another beauty sponge, wet of course, and I'm starting to pull, just like the lots of little pulls, and I'm pulling it down and across. And I'm pulling it down and in. And what I'm starting to do with this contour, the lighter shade, is create that definition of pushing my cheekbone back. I live for a cheekbone, and we're going to talk about the different face shapes in a near moment, but I'm going to start showing you the blend of this one. Okay, so you see how that started to hide behind. I'm going to do the other one, and I'm going to talk about the different face shapes. I'm actually just going to fill in a little bit of options, different options that I do. So I go up and down here. Obviously, I'm a bit more receding than I'd like to admit, and I can blend up and down. I have two different ways of contouring my forehead. One is like this, and this is, bearing in mind, an oval face shape, okay? So up and down, bringing it a little bit further in, which kind of creates this moment of shadow on the sides here. Now, depending on whether I wear a wig or whether I'm going wigless and I'm doing my white hair, I could then take a little bit of this product and just, oh, let's put this on. There she is. And just go tap, tap across the top of the forehead. Not completely across for my face shape. I'm going to tell you what face shape would do that in a moment. So I start to create more of a round effect going across the top of the hair. To give you some information, because I paint for an oval face shape, I don't tend to do the contour underneath here and blend it down into the neck, because it's an oval face shape. The illusion's coming from up here. You can already see it starting to take shape. However, looking down here at my notes, a rectangle and a round face shape, a rectangle being one that's a bit more square on the jaw, like what this would look like with the same kind of a hairline. A rectangle would, to cancel out the illusion of the rectangle, and also a round shape would as well, just to help you kind of define that in. If that's the look you're going for, that's where you would go. Whoom. An oblong face shape, which is still with a square jaw and a bit more of a better hairline, a squarer hairline than mine. They would try to take their contour down the back here and then across to kind of create that illusion of, creating the illusion of the shape. Right? Now that we've discussed the chin, let's talk about the cheeks. The oval, diamond, and rectangle face shapes would all do down on the angle. The length of it would be up to you, about your choice. A heart face shape and a round face shape would take their contour up with their forehead contour, their cheek contour with their forehead contour. Completely your choice and completely your decision of whether you want to go straight across or not. For me, I don't, and you're going to see why, because we kind of start blending all of this together now. I come back to the nose later. There's a very specific reason why I don't do the nose now. We'll get to that. I'm going to go back to the concealer beauty blender that I had, and you see this up here. What I'm going to do is kind of like pull and pull left and right, backwards and forwards to help blend this. So if I want my highlighter further out, you see how that's just completely fixed itself. Now I'm going to take the darker contour and I'm just going to pat, pat, pat behind kind of where we placed the first lighter one. What I'm going to do is actually just press this in place. I'm not going to pull this anywhere. I'm just going to blend this in with the product that's already there. Just going backwards and forwards over that. You see how when I face forward, it's created whoop. Maybe I might pull it down a little bit into the cheek. I'm going to blend her up into that hairline as well, taking it up, up, up. Okay, right, great, fabulous. Now that that has been done, my cheeks are kind of essentially done now as well, except for the blush. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the concealer sponge that we used before, and just like we did across the forehead, we're going to try and create a better transition between the two colors across the cheek. So I'm just going to go across what would be like the seam of the two colors and just start patting them across. And if you want to put a bit more of the contour back in place, you go back up and make the dark cheek again. So it's like you're kind of playing around. My face is really starting to be pulled down here. Let's put a little bit more concealer across the chin here, just with what's on this here. Fabulous, thank you. Now, your choice entirely what you do here. There's mixed opinions in the makeup community. I'm gonna say makeup community, I think that would be fair, about the intensity or how intense you should go with your baking. I love to bake. Have I always got the time to bake? Absolutely not. Does it stop me baking? Absolutely not. Leave it on for as long as you want to. I'm brushing it off now for the purpose of this video, and as you can see, we are left with a gorgy finish. I just love it. I just absolutely love this powder stage. It's everything to me. What I am going to do is get my palette, and I'm going to get the grey shade that's in here. You can be like, what is she doing? I'm getting the grey shade. I've got the grey on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the one with the light so that we can see. And I'm going to start with my bad side and just dab. Very lightly press this on the side. I'm not brushing, I am dabbing. So lots of little presses. Nothing too intense, nothing too heavy. Dab, 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 dab. Lots of little dabs down the side of the nose. And just creating that face shape. And this is why I always do my bad side first, because my good side, I have more of a dent here. Now what I need to go back is create the same illusion. You see, there we go. Like a medium fluffy brush, I'm just going to, at this end of the handle, not down here, at this end, I'm going to do it this way. And what we put on with the gray, I'm just going to very lightly brush that up and down. This is gonna, if you've put too much on by accident, this is going to weaken the intensity of the shadow. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Up and down. Now I'm going to get the concealer blender, and what I'm just going to do is not come any higher onto the highlight. I'm gonna go kind of like gray into the nose. Just gonna very lightly add a little bit more depth to the side of that nose, and that is my nose contour done. Very light presses, very quick and easy. Now let's get into blush, because it's my most favorite, absolute most favorite stage of the makeup process. There's not really much to talk about when it comes to a blush. The main theory, the main consideration when applying one would be to be going more on the contour than the highlight, unless you're creating kind of a very highly lifted blush. Then obviously you're going to want to come up here. I start at the back just like we did with the contour, and I tap, tap, tap. Let me show you from the front way. So I'm picking up more product, tap, 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 tap in the pan, and I tap, tap, tap on the face. This is how I apply my blush. You do you when it comes to yours. Tap, 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 and I start to tap further down on the contour. Tap, 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 tap. I do lots of little taps. Tap, 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 tap. I'm going to stop saying tap because if that comes up in the subtitles, that's going to get very annoying very fast. Actually, there is something to say about the application of a blush. If you have a round face shape or a diamond face shape, you're going to want to work more towards the apples of the cheek. And I think it's such an adorable look. I love a round face shape when they've got the blushes on because it's like you're all kind of rosy and I love it. It's a really cute look, right? And the contour, something I didn't say before, is just with what's left on the application here, just kind of start to tuck it underneath. Not up to the nose, but you know how we kind of blended down? You're going to want to blend further across and just kind of start to tuck it up and in. This is how I love my cheek to look. Very warm, very cozy, just like a warm winter's night with the Horlicks by an open window when it's raining outside. Oh, I love it. Like, yes, and you see now the difference. Very cold, bland, like an unseasoned piece of chicken. And over here, we've got a warm, cozy winter's night, maybe autumn, with a lovely breeze coming through the window. Thank you. Because I'm creating this lengthy kind of down the front shape, I go along the contour in between the highlighter and the contour, and then I take it up into the hairline. And as you see on the side of the face, I don't know if you can skip back and see the difference, but if you have a look at the before and after, it does create that more central kind of pole, let's say, contour, a contoured face. With what's left on my brush, I warm up the outsides of my face up here. And this just helps tie in the intensity of my blush. And then also I would make the brush really skinny and I would just pat, pat, pat the side of my nose as well. Nothing too intense. It's again, just to help tie in how dark my cheeks are to the rest of the face. Okay, now at this stage in the game, I don't know why I don't do this before, but that now is when I do the highlighter here. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel right to do it before for me. So what I do is lots of light taps, but I don't bring it down to the chin. I stop for a very specific reason. And the reason is because I still want my chin to pop. So what I do is lots of little taps across where I've applied it. I'll go a little bit up into the bottom of that contour. And then as you'll be able to see, that it starts to really carve in the bottom of that cheek there. Maybe I'll bring it up a little bit across the bottom of the contour if it's a bit too intense. Have a play about. If you've done a contour that comes down the back of the face for an oblong face shape, you don't want this to go back into that. So just be aware of where you're applying it and how far you're blending it back. And that will really help kind of do this to my cheekbones, especially when the full illusion is together with the lashes, the brows and the lips and everything. Kind of really helps pull everything together. Now, finito. For good measure, you might want to put a little bit of powder across that highlighter that you've just put on. There's no rules to it really. Do what you want to do. Now, I know that there's going to be people out there that are going to say, that is not how it's done. I cannot believe she's telling people to do it that way. Listen, hun, this is how I do my face. And the advice that I've given about the different face shapes is for you to play with. So by all means, drop down to those comments and leave me a little bit of shade, but expect it back. Please consider subscribing to this channel if you aren't already. I'd really, truly appreciate it because it's going to help boost the channel and help the algorithm think, oh, there's something going on there that we need to pay attention to. And that will also be helped by leaving a thumbs up down below as well. Leave a comment, even if it's an emoji. What kind of emoji? Oh, I'm wearing pink today and I love a pink blush. So leave a pink heart down in the comments below. Even if you have nothing to say, just leave a pink heart and I would appreciate it very much. Until the next video, stay safe, stay fabulous, and as always, ciao for now. Bye everyone.